Okay, I'm back again. Yeah, actually, I got the new. He's poking that computer. Oh my gosh. What was that? Oh, the new iMovie 11, and they got these trailers, which are awesome to make, intros and outros and things like that. So that was iMovie. It's called Trailers. I don't know if they call it iTrailers, but it's very easy. All you gotta do is input your video clips, and then put your for each thing. Yeah, unfortunately, this is just for a Mac, but you can't get like those little Mac Minis, and well, it's probably not the best for video editing per se. Let me go ahead and kick it out with some news. I actually got my little show notes. I don't have much today. It was really impromptu thing, but I figure I'd go ahead and give you a couple things that's going on. Now, I've been talking with Ron Knights. He does his own show. Actually, I had him on my own show. It's probably been quite a few months ago. But I'm probably going to be on the Ron Knights show as one of his guests. It's probably sometime next month. So I just figure I'll throw it out there for you guys. And since he was nice enough to come on my show, I'm going to go to his show next month. And I think he's going to have Chris Pirillo on his show on later this month as well. So that's coming up. And I'm going to be doing the Turnitoplug review. And I did already do an unboxing, showed it on the show, and I have it on YouTube as well. And I've been using it for about 2 weeks, and I wanted to, use it fully before I do a review. And unfortunately, I was only able to use, it has like these little separate plugins that give you the different little apps. Because I was restricted on time, I could only have the time enough to do 2 apps. But I did thorough testing on the software itself, and I'm going to give you a rundown of that on next Wednesday's show. And I'm also going to do a screencast of the software that comes with it. So you'll get to see all that. It's coming up next week. And I think I had a few other show-related things. And okay, this other stuff, it'll probably wait till a bit later. And actually, I'm getting out the manual iPad. That's what I call this, which is actually just a newspaper right here. And believe it or not, sometimes I do like to get away from technology. Ooh, I know that I made most of you guys cringe there. Sometimes I just get away, and I like, manual newspapers and stuff like that as well. Now, during the show, somebody, it was actually unrelated to technology, but somebody said something about, did you hear about all those birds dying? I guess they had some birds and fishes and all kinds of things like that. And I wanted to talk about that, because now I got this from the Corpus Christi Times, okay, and this is actually a Associated Press article that they had, so it's usually anything from the Associated Press is pretty reliable. Now, I know supposedly I didn't really read the whole background on how these birds were dying or anything else, but I should have brought my reading glasses for this. So I thought it'd be just kind of interesting to do on the show. Now, from what I understand, I'm just going to read some excerpts because it's such a long article. But what the article basically says, bird, fish die-off. It says bird, fish die-offs occur regularly. Okay, because I think sometimes, the press or the internet or what have you, get a hold of an article and they see all these birds dying. And then I guess what they did was, they made a connection with other species like fish dying off, and they think it's all due to one thing. Okay, but according to this, and I wish I highlighted the relevant parts in here. Let me see. First, and blackbirds. Okay, I guess the first thing was the blackbirds fell out of the sky on New Year's Eve in Arkansas. I think that was one of them. Okay, according to this, though, some of the experts were saying that stuff like this actually happen on a regular basis, but either it's not noteworthy or for some reason that doesn't get picked up in the news. And actually, recently there was I think it was 1996. There was 100,000 ducks died off pretty much at once in Canada, and from what I understand, there wasn't any news articles or anything like that. And they're also saying that all these other related die-offs of different species of, even though a bunch of birds died and then fishes died somewhere else, people assume that it's all connected. And sometimes I think people want to see a pattern exist, or perhaps there is not. But you see, with, different, because with animals, because it's very easy to, if one has a communicable disease, it's very easy for the whole species to get the same thing, because, where are they going to go? They can't go to the little bird hospital where another bird fixes them up and, gives them the mouth-to-mouth or whatever. So, sometimes we do science-related stuff or other things on Saturdays, but actually I do have some text-related stuff coming up here shortly. So it's very easy for them to be transmitted from one bird to another because they fly in flocks and everything else. So people want to see patterns, of all these things. It's just like, I don't know if you guys remember the swine flu scare here in America. I don't know if it was last year or something like that. And then they're saying, it's a big epidemic and, it's going to kill all these people off. What they don't realize is that each year in America, 20,000 people die annually from the flu, just a regular flu, not, swine flu or anything else. And usually it's the very young or the very old that usually happen. So, and then I think, that's only here locally in the United States. I think worldwide, I think it's, I can't remember if it's 250,000 to 500,000 or something like that. Now I don't know if it's the flu, it could be malaria, I don't know, other things as well, but I figure I threw my thoughts on that because, I think it just tends to get picked up the news. Well, I think it also has to do with the internet. Prior to, I'm guessing maybe 5 years or even farther back, a lot of people are starting to read the, news on the internet because they, use it every day. And so news is easily passed from, around the world. So, since people have access so quickly to this information, it gets spread a lot faster. So, I think that has something to do with it as well. How you doing there, Smart Scarecrow? And actually, we were talking about. Maybe I'll get your thoughts on it as well. This has to do with the bird fish die-offs occur regularly. And by the way, since you're in here, I seen your last show and your video was awesome. Your video quality. And I believe you said you're using Wirecast Pro. And I'm not trying to make it a pro or Wirecast versus Vid Blaster Pro or anything. I just noticed your quality was really good. I'm sure you're going to use it for different things, but I just wanted to mention that. So, we were talking about the recent birds dying off and things like that. And I think you missed most of it, but like I said, I was reading this newspaper article, and some of the experts were reporting that this has been happening for a long time. It's, nothing any recent. And one of the things, the data I put in here that said in 1996 there was 100,000 ducks or geese or whatever died in Canada at along the same time. And I think that people were trying to connect different fish dying in another area of the world, or they're somehow all connected. But see, that's probably been happening for thousands of years. It's nothing new as far as my thoughts on that. But since you came in here, I figured I'd tell you on that as well. So. Actually, hold on. Well, now, some of this, there's different organizations that research this, and one of them I know comes from Wisconsin. They actually track different species, of fish or bird or something like that, and I wish I could find it. I got it in this huge article right here, and it's happened before. It's not anything recent. Oh, here we go. Here it is right here. Here's another one. I guess the U.S. Geological Survey's National Wildlife Health Center in Wisconsin, that's the place, has tracked mass deaths among birds, fish, and other creatures, and wildlife disease specialist Leanne White, I guess. And I wish I could go down to where it all right, yeah, I wish I highlighted this article. I meant to do that before the broadcast, but what the experts are saying, that's they've been recording this for a long time. It's not just anything recent. And you got diseases, you got viruses, bacteria, because they're so easy spread within, example, birds, because they all flock in the same, migration paths and things like that, because it's not like humans, because we can get inoculated, we have doctors, a mass amount of birds or fish or something like that, they don't have that. So it's very easy for a large number of them to, get sick and die, or, Well, now some of it can be counted toward pollution, and that does have an effect. Obviously, oil spills and things like that. It could be some radars from the military. Yes, they do. If they fly in front of it, yes, and things like that. That was kind of my related story. I figured I'd just throw my thoughts on that, but pollution would be a factor, but it may take generations to or the lifetime of the bird, and then they croak over when it's or something like that. But now some of the sonar supposedly with the Navy, it killed some whales. It's like this super sonar, and actually, some of that'd be kind of dangerous if a diver got too close, I guess. Okay, that was one of the big stories I was going to throw out there as far as this show. So, well, I don't know. I think, there's only in certain parts. I could see if it was all in one area. A huge number of birds died, then a huge number of fish in the same area, and and stuff like that. But if you got it in different